Nothing needs to be perfect because nothing is perfect, and this is how life is. And we're getting right into the podcast today. Today's topic is something that I really wanted to talk about, and it is something to do with the More Better Human research project that I'm doing. Little introduction before we begin for people who have not been here before. My name is Nicholas. I'm currently taking a break from working on my research project about what makes us better humans in the age of technology, preparing us for the future. This is really something that you can actually prepare for, and it comes with this story first. I'm currently doing multiple YouTube channels as vehicles for the research project. What am I saying? Essentially, each channel has its own type of niche because I didn't want to just pull everything into one channel and then it'll get very confusing. And I can do this sort of thing because in the past I've been working in the film industry, and I decided that I wanted to go and open my own media company. As I was doing that, I was having a lot of clients but still doing the same thing, didn't really find any meaning. So that's why all derived down to currently what I'm doing right now. Essentially, I got rid of all my clients, not got rid of them. I completed all my work with all my clients, and then I decided to become my own client where I'm working for myself, and the different channels are essentially working as the different clients, different niches with different videos that are being created for each different things, but they're all compounding to this research project, what it means to become a more better human of the future. The reason why this project exists is because I want to find out what new meaning to us means as we progress in life living with robots. Because if we were to live in a world where we don't have to work, robots have already taken over, then what are we going to be doing for the rest of our lives? We essentially need to go find something for us to do. So that's why this whole thing came about. Leveraging on skills of the future. The reason why I give it the whole context again about my life once again was because of this thing that I rewatched a lot of my videos, and I found out that I did not answer one particular question. It came out very unclear, so to speak, where exactly do I want to bring this project? I can continuously push out videos. I can turn this into a business. That's great. But where will I find the comfort that I am going in the right direction? And the answer to this is not just about bringing a community together. It's not just about turning this into something that will help people in the future, becoming an archive where we are still human and we are all still fine. There's something for us to fall back on. But where exactly is the final endpoint for me to feel comfort at all? And this is where I thought about my skills and what I have right now, which actually cannot transfer into other people, or at least the robots cannot take over myself in a way. Sure, it can take over the job that I'm doing, but it cannot take over the uniqueness of me as a human. And this is something that I have garnered for many, many years. You need to understand the nuances as you were living through that. And with all that experience in life, I can tell you right now how I have come to it, which is bringing people together. Sure, the AIs right now can go and send mass messages into all the inboxes of people, their emails, their phone calls, and say that, hey, Nick is hosting a party, everyone turn up. But the whole persuasion, the whole gathering the right people, the whole effort to talk with people and grow with people, that is something that the AI robots cannot take over. Effort is still required of people. And I found that for myself because this is a skill that I have gained in the 13 years in the film industry, or as I was working on the films. In the earlier years, when I was still in film school and working in outside projects, I saw how the professionals did it, and I applied that back to school and all my own passion projects, where I would pull people together based on persuasion, not monetary stuff, because I did not have any money at that time. And I'll say like, hey, if you get on my project, I'll make stuff for you for free, and that kind of thing. This is the exchange that we were doing back at the time. And it really worked because I made a lot of films for myself, and I also made a lot of films for a lot of other people. And because I hopped onto so many video projects like that, I could meet more people without actually going to find the people at all, because the people would just be on the sets itself, and I'm already charismatic in that sense, where I can just make friends with everybody. And from there, I would pull the actors and the crew from other film sets into my own film set, and it would just continue to multiply. And that is something that I was thinking about, where in the future, if we can mass mail everyone, that still wouldn't have the nuance of humans where you could make friends and trust people and work towards a greater good of humanity. by just sending emails like that. Sure, it's efficient, but it is not, it feels very heartless. I can't think of the word right now, but it feels quite slipshod in a way. And that's something that the AI cannot do. It's something that takes time, something that takes listening, something that takes effort. That is human. That is something that we need to hone. And that's something that we can hone. And that's something that I am very proud of. That's something that the AI cannot take away. So we come back to the whole point of doing this research. Where I find comfort in is the more that I hone the skill of community building and speaking with people and gathering people together. One of the questions that I also didn't answer was, how exactly am I going to fit this whole research thing? Like, where does the YouTube channels actually come into play? With my skills of actually bringing people together, I find that I could be the driver of bringing people to raise awareness of their thing, simply because I'm someone who knows how to use a camera and I know how to bring people on cameras. And that is exactly what I've been doing, just in a different format and in a different way of going about it. I'm no longer just creating a film for myself and putting out there into the world to say like, hey guys, watch this great art that I created. But more of the art is in bringing people together and bringing that to the masses. That is my skill. That is my specialty that I have trained and honed, and now I can use it in this particular time and space. This starts to get me very excited because I'm thinking about how this actually helps a lot of other people. A lot of people are getting laid off. A lot of people are having trouble finding a lot of jobs simply because a lot of people are not hiring low-level basic jobs because their needs can be taken over by AI and that kind of thing. So it's a lot scarier right now. And even in 2030, I was reading an article where in the future, a lot of driving jobs are going to be not by drivers anymore. So all those truckers will be taken over simply because we have self-driving cars and basically don't need to sleep. So efficiency on that stance will become much more quicker. But to the people on the ground, where does that lead us and where do we prepare? How do we prepare? And this is where the topic of today, honing soft skills, honing communication skills, learning languages, exposing yourself to different media, talking to different people, grounding yourself in a very human things that AI cannot take over. Because even though you know how to use AI, even though AI can work faster than us, it still does not have the brain power that it can actually think for us. It can never think for us. No one can think for us. Sure, they can make decisions for us, like where you want to go or what type of food you might want to eat based off your history, your search history, or that kind of thing. But ultimately, whether it gives you that idea of what you might want to eat, you will still have to make a decision yourself. And that's something that the final decision AI cannot make for you. That's something that you can control. And that's something that I'm very excited that if more people honed right now, they pivot instead of just focusing on just their job, because that's a lot of what people think. They feel that the job that they're working right now, they don't need to pivot at all, simply because they have been doing it for so long and it will not go anywhere, which is scary to me because a lot of people feel that they don't need to change, but the world is changing so fast and I'm scared about it. One way that people can start preparing for the future is start honing on all these skills, these human skills. Because if you don't, you might be overtaken by the robots in the future, and that's very scary. So I think I've got my main point across today, but this all stemmed from this one particular comment that I came across as I was watching. I went for a talk, and this person was talking about the future, how you can really prepare for AI and where you really want to put your money into and that kind of thing. But this really stood out to me, and this particular person said, "There is no substitute for effort, making friends, mastering skills, living with culture, keeping traditions alive, the nuances, traveling, and living experiences, asking good questions, building trust, and everything about this is human." So in that little quote, that gives me a lot of hope that the more we lean into understanding ourselves as humans and what we are capable of, the more that we are more confident in making decisions for our future, the more we will not be replaced so much by the AI boom, and we can actually live freely, not just freely, but more confidently that we are still taking charge of our own lives rather than being dragged by the robots themselves. That's all I have for you today. Hopefully you are starting to get on your soft skills and starting to be prepared for what is there to come. But other than that, that's all I have to say for today. I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.